Almost 1 in 10 of the soldiers who died on the first day of the Somme were from the 36th Ulster Division. Later this afternoon, members of their families will be among those attending a ceremony at the Ulster Memorial Tower in Thiepval. It was built close to the front line of the attack, which took place 100 years ago today. Here's our Ireland correspondent, Chris Buckler.
The Ulster Tower stands in France to honour those who travelled here from Ireland to fight in the Great War. It's a replica of a building they would have seen as they travelled up Belfast Lough, leaving behind family and friends. Many of those soldiers' bodies still lie here in this once contested land. The loss never forgotten in the hometowns which they left.
1,600 yards was the front of the Ulster Division, and we lost 5,500 men on that one day.
The casualties included men injured, but those who followed them out of the trenches soon discovered the scale of that first day of slaughter.
I think for the second attack, the men looking out across no man's land and seeing their mates lying dead and wounded, it must have been a horrendous experience for them.
Some of the trenches are still here in these woods, and it was from here that battle was fought. Line after line of German troops were waiting, not that you could see them unless you put your head above the parapet.
They came over the top of the trenches somewhere around here, so somewhere in this sort of area, quite near where the cemetery is now.
James Quigley left Ireland before the island had a border. He would never return to Donegal to see his country changed.
The whole village would have lost all their sons of a certain age. You know, of those 200 that were with Jimmy, they were all from that same part of East Donegal. And so almost all one generation of boys is lost.
It scares me, obviously, that if I lived back in that time, I could be heading off to war soon. I think it's easier for me just not to think about the horror, but I think it's important to.
What happened on the edge of Thiepval Woods hasn't been forgotten. In Belfast, the images of that great war still stand out, along with those lasting connections to the Somme, a place where the Ulster Regiment went to serve and where that word sacrifice never meant more. Chris Buckler, BBC News at the Ulster Tower.